Yo, 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 let's get the business.
Oh my god.
Let's get the business. I'm your host, most definitely, Cashmere Brown, aka Josh B, aka Mr. Get the Chicken. I'm here once again with my dog, my guy, my outstanding, brilliant, talented, and gifted, authentic style. The artistry is on another level. What's so special and significant about this situation and this moment is he was actually my first guest on the first pod of Let's Get the Business. Let's take the hats off for that real quick. Yeah. Okay, that was a nerd moment for me. But yeah, definitely, he was my first guest, and I love the way he spun the block and came back around on the platform. He's definitely worth it. He's one of a kind, authentic. I can relate to his freedom as an artist and his creative mind in general. The way he promotes himself, you know how you do it, man. You're easygoing and your joyful demeanor. People navigate towards you because you have very positive energy, a high frequency operator, sharp, educated, advanced level of creativity. It's out of this world. Extremely expressing your personality, unapologetically, outspoken and honest too. Connecting with your fans and supporters with detailed, eventful days, certain perspectives on art piece descriptions. Your professionalism is top tier at its finest. And your work is just extremely it's amazing and catchy to the viewer, backed up by a generational talent and craft. So thank you for spinning the block again, man. Damon Thompson.
It's really good to be here, and I can't wait to.
Yeah,
that was more than I deserved, but thank you.
Thank you, man. I got to present you properly, man, because that's the way I view you. That's honestly, you're a once in a generational talent. And I feel like every piece that you touch, everything that you assemble, it should be put on display to the whole world. And I know you're working on that.
I'm working on a lot right now.
Yeah. You're a busy man. You put the work in. So this is not like a new thing for you. This is more like, check this veteran artist out that does it on a high level and continues to do it on a high level. And it's been years and years that you put the work in. One fun accolade that I have to throw out there early is the 43 mural paintings within 6 weeks of the COVID shutdown.
Yeah, that was an accomplishment.
Yeah.
And it's only 5 years later that I realized how the convergence of events of people being home and of people being able to respond quickly to their messages.
Right.
If I tried to do the same thing right now, I mean, there's no way. Like I would get maybe half that done if my knee didn't go out or something.
I understand that, because I understand one thing about creativity is you have these moments, it's just us taking advantage while the iron is hot, and you could really get a bunch, and it would create a remarkable, unbelievable, unforgettable legacy within that moment.
And I knew what was happening when it was happening. That's why I chose to seize the day, and that's why I was answering every message. I mean,
so you felt
I was lying to my wife by saying I was getting up at 4 a.m. I was waking up at 2. I was getting stuff ready in the van packed, and the sketches done.
Yeah.
I was hitting the road by 7, 8 in the morning, taking a lunch break, going to a different wall, doing another mural.
Wow.
Getting home around 5, getting up and doing it again the next day. I was so excited just to be able to do what I've always wanted to do in my own way as fast as I could. Now I understand the value to, taking a break,
absolutely
talking to people a little bit more, planning out the wall,
right,
a little more detail. But at the time, I was just so excited to get going, and this was 6 years ago now that
right.
happened.
Nice run though, but that's interesting for you to pinpoint and highlight that. Yeah, there's a balance to everything, so you had to learn how to balance it. But I do like the way you took advantage of that. And clearly you specialize in mural paintings, but I like to look at you as just the overall superb talent artist.
Well, I'm glad you bring that up, because I was doing my goal setting out from when I was really young. I wanted to be like the classically trained atelier painters of Italy and Spain, guys like Francisco de Goya, Michelangelo, Leonardo da Vinci. I wanted to be able to have it be a religious experience when you embrace the vision that I created. Right. And as time went on, I actually went to these places. I went to the museum in Prado. I went to the Uffizi in Italy. I copied from the masters. Right. And while I was walking between museums, I would see the graffiti on the street and the stickers and the vandalism and be like, the punch of color that these have, the energy, the youthfulness, Speaking of stickers, this is where the energy's at, not in these weeping women and old paintings, you know. So that's what got me into looking at graffiti and street art as being like where the energy was at. So
you touched it early. You touched that inspiration early, and you felt it. Absolutely. I like that. And speaking of stickers, he bought me some more outstanding gifts like he did the first time. The first stickers you bought me, they were amazing. I still have some of them, used some of them, put them in random places. But thank you for these other set of stickers. These are next level. And I like the way you touch the street. So you got inspired by greatness, and that's what you aimed your art to be, is timeless early, and that's what it's going for. Like, I was going to ask you what your top inspiration was, and I'm sure you have a number of them, but I like that segment of inspiration itself. Just you going out and touching the streets and feeling the greatness of other artists. Yeah.
So to me, one of my strongest features, and I still to this day don't actually believe I'm good at it, is my color choices. Because I don't make something look like what it's supposed to be if you're doing a realistic painting. I choose all kinds of vibrant different colors. And I came into that approach by watching how graffiti guys would fill in their letters. Like, they can use whatever they want. So I do the same thing, but with faces.
And it adds to the uniqueness and authenticity of it. Because, everybody gets inspired from, they pull from different directions, but I feel like it's the authentic touch that you add to it that makes it special. Yeah. Because I was inspired by comics, funny papers, Celebrity Deathmatch, Killer Instinct, you know what I mean? Dr. Seuss, anything, you know what I mean?
I still love
R.L. Style. Books. Yeah. I mean, anything that could touch my eye, like just any crazy graphics or illustrations, like I was just pulling from that, like constantly since I've been little.
Yeah. I think one of the things I still to this day trip out on all the time is like Frank Frazetta and the fantasy art of like the barbarian paintings and stuff with the dragons. Like it's, they use so many vibrant colors that you don't even think these are people that get excited about pinks and magentas and fuchsia, but they're intensely vibrant. And so I love those color choices, and it informs the work I do today as well.
And so you learn as you go even more to appreciate all colors. Yeah. I never really had like just one favorite color.
Yeah. Well, and they're
maybe an artist thing.
They change with every color looks different in dark lighting or bright lighting. Every color looks like a different color when it's placed next to other colors. I mean, if you get a periwinkle, that's midway between a lilac and a blueberry. Right. It's going to confuse you whether it's purple or blue. And the same thing goes for chartreuse or many. There's a lot of colors that you Cardinal just can't red. Really. Yeah. Oh man, I used to have to color match sports teams when I printed T-shirts. And I was like, it gets real specific with those paint
magenta and yeah, it does. So I learned to respect those colors, man. So I know you do too. So what would you name your top 3 most iconic, legendary paintings that the community may know you for, or what you would consider your top 3?
Well, this one right here, this one's of Woody Guthrie.
That was bananas. And
it's got he has a guitar, and the guitar says, "This machine kills fascists." It means his guitar, not a gun. It means it means the creativity is what it's going to conquer the negative mindset of the war mentality of people who can't see past authoritarian rule. So that one. More people see that than anything else, because there's a red light that stops everybody on Goss Avenue in Louisville, and everybody has to sit there and look at it. So. But
that's dope. That's what's fascinating about art, though, right? Like, you can use these double entendres and these metaphorically artistic expressions for it to mean have multiple different meanings, or mean two things at once. You know what I mean? Two things can be true at once when it comes to art, or multiple.
Yeah. And recently I did a series of paintings for Fort Knox on base. And that was super exciting to work on.
I was going to get into that. That is a classic piece.
Thank you.
Whew. I think I shared a video or something it was a wall that you had, and it was a collaboration, but man, that's an outstanding piece. Like, yeah, Thanks. You all have to see it. Add Damon Thompson on Instagram. Is it Damon Paints on Instagram?
Damon Paints, like
Damon
paint a wall, Paints.
Yeah,
Damon Paints on Instagram. There's links to my website from there, so you can go check out the T-shirts, books, stickers, original artwork. All that stuff is available.
Everything.
Yeah, separate
pieces. Portraits, things of that nature. You name it,
You can message me directly on Instagram if you have a wall, and I'm kind of busy, but I always like to hear your idea, and more times than not, I can fit something in if especially if I'm excited to do it. But
absolutely, 100%. And I would call it timeless pieces of art that you do not want to pass or skip, and it's going to be so authentic and unique. It's gonna be like, wow, I need that. Let me grab that. Let me touch that. Well, you can. Things are available now.
It serves purposes too. I mean, for instance, this wall had been hit several times by graffiti vandals, people who just want to make their mark. The owner of the building, he didn't take it personally. He wasn't mad. He's like, "Yuck, I get it. I know the game. I see what they're doing.
Mm-hmm.
If I pay you to do a mural on this, you think they'll go over it?" And I was like, "If they do, I'll just fix it the next day." And he's like, "All right, you're hired." And nobody's messed with it. That's been up there for 4 years now, 5 years.
That's dope, man. So organically meaningful moments that just turn that into art. I love it, man. I love that, man. So it's bold, it's unmissable. The way I look at it too is reshaping the city and beyond, because it's brilliant. Your work is captivating. For quite some time, you've just been putting this work on display throughout the public, unapologetically, for the streets to fully captivate the energy. And it's breathtaking. It's phenomenal. And it's one of a kind. It reminds me of Banksy. Like you said, this meaningful piece. I'm sure you heard of Banksy.
Yeah, I love Banksy.
I want to compare you, because just the murals, and of course, he's an anonymous British street legend.
Yeah.
Artist that nobody really knows his identity. But I want to compare you all, because for one, he's a one of a kind, legendary, masterful, masterminded artist, and I look at you the same way. I mean, I think he's a little bit
DJ 3D from Massive Attack.
No, and I would say he's a little bit more edgy and controversial, but both of you all have a great display of art that is very meaningful.
Yeah, well, he weighs in some really, really heavy subjects.
Yes.
And it's not that those things don't matter to me, but I know what I don't know sometimes.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah,
I'm not gonna. There's problems out there. I could read up on it for 3 years and I would come back with less answers than I started with.
Right.
But he's not afraid of them, and for that I give him props. But it also puts you in a weird position of having to be authority on something where people's lives really live and die by things you might put on a wall. So.
Absolutely. It was a responsibility in his area and the time that he came up in. It was a lot different. So I feel like there was a lot more to prove in his move monuments, but you're doing the same thing. I feel like throughout Louisville, throughout Indiana. I mean, you go to these places, you go to Preston, you go to the art center, you go to these different locations, you will see Damon Thompson.
Yeah, I have over 14 just in Jeffersonville, Indiana alone, like within walking distance of each other.
Unbelievable, bro. So I got to tip my hats off to that, man.
I got to say thank you to the city of Jeffersonville too, because not just the people there, but the city officials, Cat Wang, like the people, super inviting, cleared the path, made things go super smooth. Like you run into a lot more paperwork in bigger cities like Louisville. So
Absolutely. You know, like we were talking earlier, you know, the public limitations and the regulations, and because you draw so much attention.
Yeah, but I'm also going for the hard work nowadays. Like my friend Adam Potts, he's a tattooer. He was telling me he loves this artist named Christo he drapes cloths on big buildings, and he does these architectural renderings. And he has to sell this idea to places like New York City, and he's got to go through the permitting process of getting all of that approved.
Right.
And the statement he made was, that is my art too. That is my craft as well. Getting through and getting my point across to city officials, to neighborhood councils, to the people who live in the building that the things will be anchored to. And I used to try my best to avoid those things, and now I look at them as opportunities to meet new people, explain what I do.
That is a good way to put it, to just embrace the new territory. Yeah. So, and that's part of your transformation, going just from a fun and hobby type of artist to what you do for a living. You know what I mean? That's the shift, right?
Oh yeah. And I mean, it can really, like, you can get 99% done, and then one person makes it their business to make it not happen. And you just gotta know it's not going to happen sometimes.
Right.
You know, like not every project gets to the finish line.
Absolutely. Yeah, the world of an entrepreneur, man. Yeah,
but that's very far and few between. Most of the time, everyone's really stoked, and they're right. People, when I'm painting, people come out of their house. Yes. Sometimes they bring me coffee. Sometimes they offer me their bathroom because they can see there's nowhere nearby, or it's overwhelmingly a positive experience usually.
Absolutely, and you're fully embraced too. I noticed, like, you could be working on something. It could be a weekly long project. It could be a daily, and people will come out, like you said, they'll take pictures. They'll give handshakes and daps, and
I don't put on my earbuds. Like, I'm like, well, first, I don't know who's behind me. I can't, like, right. I don't even,
you're in the streets.
This is Louisville, like, it's not the worst city, but you want to know what's going on,
I mean, but you're out there in these places, you know what I mean? And you end up in some of the most randomest locations.
Yeah, a lot of smelly alleys.
A lot of random cats, just,
piles of syringes, and it's like, man.
I guarantee it, man.
I was picking up trash around my stuff one time and got stuck with a syringe.
Oh yeah, you definitely gotta watch yourself. Yeah. You gotta watch those trash areas, man. So, and then homelessness is up too.
Yeah, and also a lot of times they're just amazed that I'm not running them off. I'll just be like, yeah, dude, here's the water. Go sit over there, and like. Then I'll turn around. There's like a whole party, I'm like, that's cool. I mean, you're not on my way.
Because you're special, man. I'll tell you what, one thing, when you have a true talent and a gift, man, and then just a cool personality to go along to package it, sometimes that's just what it draws them in, man. It lures people in.
Oh, I get some people oversharing too. Like, there's times
TMI.
Yeah, yeah. All right, dude.
Yeah.
Told me what happened to your wife. She's dead, and your dog died.
You end up being like a goddess counselor all of a sudden.
I'm like, I'm just trying to paint a flower here. This is a daffodil, dude.
Like I'm an artist.
I am not qualified for this.
Like, hey man, you want some stickers?
Yeah, totally.
So how many nighttime paintings have you accomplished? Have you done a lot of artwork during the night?
Unsanctioned, yeah.
The lighting is the whole different level, right?
Oh, dude, like if it's not if you haven't checked all the box on the legality of some wall you're painting at night, you don't have a light on either, because
right,
you're trying to get done quick and you don't. But it even when you do have light, it throws you off, because then you'll hold your hand up and then there's a shadow on most of the wall because the direction of the lighting. So
right. Yeah.
Like I much better prefer daylight when
you try to avoid it.
Yeah.
Cool, man. So how do you feel about the old sketch pre-internet days compared to this widespread range of audience that you could reach now when it comes to art, as far as the internet, social media?
We're gonna get into that, huh? Dang. Let me say, dude, like, all right. Yeah, I have a lot of ideas, but what it really comes down to is my opinion on all this can't be nailed down, because it shifts minute by minute, because there's so many pros, and there's so many cons.
Absolutely.
And now the cons are literal con men, because they just hit image create on Midjourney or AI ChatGPT.
All you got it's getting crazy.
And then they take that image, they project it on the wall, and then they color it in like they're coloring a coloring book.
Right.
And then they're like, and
so the first strike for you is authenticity.
Well, it is, but then the part of me is also sort of like, if that person has genius ideas and they never could craft that because they didn't have the actual dexterity.
Right.
A good idea to me is worth 10 times more than ability.
That's true.
Because there's very few good original ideas anymore.
You're right.
So.
Those people are having a field day, though.
Oh, yeah.
People that didn't have access to creativity, they're like, whoop, whoop.
I ran into accounts where it's a dude. I found a dude, all he does is AI art, and he set up a whole room full of like easels and shit. There's no splatters on anything. Like he just waxes poetically like he knows what he's doing. And he's got over like 30,000 followers.
Wow, man.
And all he did was just give prompts and come up with a stylized vision of just anime looking 12-year-old white girls with like dogs on their heads and stuff, And I'm like,
so it's perception versus reality is what we're battling.
Yeah.
Mainly, right?
I mean, but it's, I can't.
It's hard to knock people's fun, but at the same time.
Yeah. But then I'm also like, the same kind of haters were the people saying in the 80s that like, if you got your beat from a record that you didn't make and you rapped over it, you were a phony.
It is true. Cause I enjoy remixes and covers.
Yeah. I think that's why I'm saying I jump back and forth between. I hate that you're doing it, and I respect your hustle. And
it definitely has us in between.
I have to do it the way I've been doing it. I want to keep doing it that way because that's what I know. But
I feel like your way is working, and it's because you're authentic and true to yourself, and you're just consistent too. Like when you're that consistent, something's not a fluke. You know what I mean? It's just bang after bang, piece after piece, classic after classic. You know what I mean? Art show after art show. You know what I mean? You're posted up behind the mag bar in the Ville.
The Unfair every year.
The Unfair every single year. The first week of October.
Same weekend as St. James.
Word. So, consistency is the key. Like, you've proven that you're one of a kind artist, and I don't know if everybody could do that. I feel like that's the difference.
Well, it's also a choice to be consistent like that because I want to do pottery. I want to mountain bike.
Pottery is pretty cool.
Yeah, I want to do, but I ain't got time, and I ain't got time for all of that.
Right.
And I'm I have been in the past one of the people who judges who gets in and who doesn't to competitions, and I'll see a portfolio and it'll be like, okay, they did this one's fiber art. This is something they learned on Pinterest. This is cartooning and it's the whole thing. I mean, they're trying to show range, but it just looks like inconsistency.
Right.
But I had to make a choice when I started doing spray paint. I knew I wasn't going to keep being good at it if I just did it once a month. It had to be something I did every day. Like people who draw with a pencil every day, or people who paint with oil paint every day. It would have to be something like that if I was going to get next level with it.
Right. Man, you got some brilliant art pieces out there, man. I mean, you got the Golden Retriever, Starry Night reference, the Vincent Van Gogh joint.
Oh, yeah, that was a fun one.
Fantastic piece, man. I love that reference painting, bro. So, there's so many to name. The Malcolm's Creation Center on Fort Knox. Like you said, it's a wall that's very uniquely painted, and your collaboration with Inkwell.
The Malcolm Center was great too because soldiers and the employees of the center came out, and I showed them how to spray paint.
I like that.
So that was those guys were so stoked to be doing something fun.
Word.
And like some of the dudes had the all the whole outfit on, So I wasn't in the military. I don't know what it's called. But the uniform was on.
But that's cool, man. Especially around this time. Shout out to the troops, the soldiers, and that inclusiveness that, like I said, that your energy brings to people. To me, is one of a kind. And you got the Bella Lugosi.
Yeah,
joint, Dracula, the guy who played Dracula, about the darkness.
Yeah, to me that's when I think of Dracula, he's the only. There hasn't been one before since that is Dracula.
The original.
Yeah. I mean, there were
Right.
many actors that played Dracula before him,
Right.
but once he put his stamp on it, it was like, yeah, that's who it is.
That's him right there. So I love that one. And of course, you got the one across from your Prince painting, the joint on Phoenix Hill. Of course, the Breonna Taylor and George Floyd. Wow, that piece is engulfs so much meaning and powerful spirit behind it. So
I was stoked because at the time I did it, there was marches every day downtown, and I could see like, look, these people, they need a backdrop, you know? Yeah. And so once they started going by there, it became the cinematic moment.
Golly, man.
And it's
that was like no other. And that was, to me, that was beyond Banksy. You know, that was just an iconic, epic moment, man, that you got behind. And I'm just glad that you took the gracious time and effort and the energy behind that project. So, man, big shout out to that one.
Thank you.
And you know, your work it strengthens the atmosphere. You know what I mean? So you got a mixture of mural prints and originals, and you got the infamous villain women on the Spinelli's wall.
Oh yeah.
You know, shout out to Spinelli's. You know, that's a
well, and that goes back way before I knew what success could even be. Mm-hmm. My friend Brian, who owns it, he's always been an art connoisseur.
Shout out to Brian.
He saw what I was doing back when I was 25, 26. I mean, this is like 20 years ago. Mm-hmm. And he was commissioning me to do paintings. He was just like, he knew before I knew that I was going to be a success.
Right. Some people do.
Yeah. He had an eye for it. And some of the other artists he was working with at the time, like Danny Gamble from Cincinnati that painted his van. Like, I was like, there's never a time I'll be as good as that guy. And I'm still not, but like, I'm way closer than I ever thought I was going to be because, you know, the people like Brian who had faith in me. Right.
And I just feel like it's good to surround yourself around those type of individuals that want to see you win, and then people that you can get in, pull inspiration from. Visualize it previously before you craft it fully. Is that, would you call that a quote that you could go by?
It happens organically the more you do things. Mm-hmm. All right, because it's like, okay, a wall takes a lot of paint. So
true.
If you start making a snake and then you mess up and you're like, I want to make it a salamander, and then you go, oh, salamanders ain't this color, and you change the color, all of a sudden you're just wasting product.
True.
So if you start with the end in mind, then you don't have to waste 5 cans at changing colors. It's good to go in with a pretty clear idea when you're working large, just so you're not wasting all kinds of material.
Direction.
Yeah.
Right. Especially like you said, when you're doing these large murals.
Yeah. Right. And even if you're just doing drawings and stuff. I mean,
there you go.
Like I do a lot of stuff on Procreate now, but used to do everything in a sketchbook. And you go through 10 pieces of paper, you're all wadded up in the corner, and you're like, right. You know, if I just sat down and thought it through and got a better mental image.
Yeah.
Like I agree. But sometimes you got to scribble around a lot to get loose and get into it. You know?
I agree.
But like, there's no days off. Like you got to. That's what I was talking early before we're on camera about how I use a lot of hourglasses now. Mm-hmm. And so what that'll do is it also helps me go from I don't want to do anything today to I'm just going to do whatever I feel like doing. I might be drawing sheep or something silly,
free day,
just goofing, doodling.
Yeah.
And after 5-10 minutes of that, I'm like, I feel like I want to do some cool art right now. Like, cause I just broke out of the mentality of the bills are due. The kids were late for school.
Right.
I got to get him to practice tonight. Like that stuff can just drive you to where you never even get to your creative vision.
I agree. That's what me and you can relate. Me and you definitely have that in common. That's why I like being around you, because I feel like creativity, it has no specific timing on it. It has no limitations. Sometimes I just spontaneously get inspired, and it's just like.
But what I'm saying is you got to force it too. Even if you don't want to, mm-hmm. If you're going to keep your chops sharp, if you're going to keep your knife sharp, you got to like get going on something, even if it's mm-hmm. just to keep the wheels going, keep the mind going.
To keep sharpening your skills.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. No, I like that aspect too.
Oh, there's nothing worse than going 2 weeks of having not done anything, and then you try and you're like, I'm not good at anything.
Yeah, that's too dry.
I've been doing this for a living for 5 years, and I'll still have days where I'm like, I'm a phony, I'm a failure. What? Who believes in this?
What do you enjoy most about spray painting?
I would say first and foremost, the color variety is like none other. I mean, one coat, I mean, you might have to pass it once or twice, but like generally goes straight out of the can to being as vibrant as it says it's going to be. And also, it's a one-handed tool. If I had to cover the same amount of area with holding pigment in this hand, a brush in this hand, over here's a bucket I have to keep walking to swish out my water and for every time I color change.
Right.
If I have just a little like container with all my colors, I just put one color down, pick up the next. And it's just like the efficiency of the tool it's like no other. So it's just really fast and efficient.
The process of the creativity. And it brings out some great work. Is there ever like areas where it's hard to get to, like difficult spots, and how you deal with that?
Oh, well, yeah. If it's something real difficult, like if it's a truck or a car, I say no nowadays.
Well, okay, yeah. When it comes to the inquiries, business inquiries,
Like, man, I've done a few. Like, you gotta lay on the ground.
I mean, wow.
Or you gotta get the car up. Like it's just like.
Have you ever tried something out? Have you said yes to something and you got out there in the playing field and you're like, whoa.
Yeah.
Almost tore my groin, pulled my groin trying to get to the spot.
Not so much as just sometimes things are bigger than they look. Even when you see the numbers and you know how you've done this for a while. Like I did one that says Clarksville, Indiana, and inside each letter is a mural, and it's right on the other side of the river in Clarksville.
I bet that's nice.
Yeah, and it was. I thought it would take 4 weeks. It took 6 weeks between, and most of those days were 100 degrees or over 100 degrees.
Man,
and there was no shade, and I'm on a lift, and I'm like, I've got all these like rickshaw looking umbrellas to keep the sun off me, and like. Yeah. So,
but this shows your passion and will and determination and just like you said, the consistency and the work put in. Unless you have a certain passion for things, success will not skip you up. No, and I feel like that's one of the reasons why you're seeing great success right now. And then you continue to just continue to thrive and create brilliant art for people to witness. And are you a Bob Ross fan?
I had to just look at my socks. I had Bob Ross socks on earlier today, and then I was like about to leave the house. I was like, I can't be.
I love that. That is enjoyable. I wish you would have worn, bro.
Yeah. No, he's great, and and
those are tough. I bet.
So I'm 46. I'll be 48 in a couple days. Growing up, I didn't know anyone that did art. At all. Like
so Bob Ross was your friend.
Yeah, he was the only
thing. Yeah.
Like and also just I live near the Beachmont Library and I would just spend hours looking at the art books there. And then once my dad noticed how stoked I was, he found out about Louisville Free Public art classes for children, and he started putting me in art classes. And
that's cool.
Like it was just, but there's what I call like learning deserts. Or there was. I mean now the learning deserts if you don't have internet, but it's wild the amount of people you'll find in the middle of nowhere. They're super good at things just because of the tutorials they find on YouTube.
Absolutely.
But
yes,
my generation, like seeing him paint and seeing that it can be enjoyable, because most people's experience with art is all frustration, never joy. That's why it calls the joy of painting, because it can be enjoyable.
It's fun.
Yeah.
And he did have fun. And what I love about Bob Ross is that he educated you behind his paintings as well. Oh, this is one of your quotes. Hold on.
Oh, all right.
I want to bring art to places of unfamiliar territory, in other words, where it usually doesn't reach. One of Bob Ross's quotes that I like of his is, "There's no such thing as accidents or what do you call it? Fun mistakes or something
Happy
like
accidents.
that? Happy accidents. Yeah. You heard this?
Yeah.
Yes,
I mean, I still watch those shows.
Yeah,
man.
Yeah. Bob Ross was that dude, bro. Like,
but to me, what I've learned that can mean when I'm doing art is
what'd you take from the quotes is what I was getting to.
All right, I was doing a painting at Spinelli's one time, and the paint kept dripping, and one of the workers goes, yo, you're like getting drips all over the place. I'm like, well, it's because it's liquid. It drips. Because it had been so long since I even cared. Because I know once I'm done, that's just going to be add to the texture of the patina of the whole expression of someone painting vigorously.
There you go. The boldness of the paint. Yeah.
And what's weird is because I paint so much now, I almost never get drips. But like at the time, I was just like, like, so what? It's going to do that. It's it's not like an automotive finish. It's paint on wall, like
a whiskey bottle top.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Me, that looks like an accident that ended up being branded and marketed
because it looks cool.
Took it to the next level. You know what I mean? Picasso. I mean, he's the most. I think he's one of the top tier examples of mistake that ended up turning out to be authentically brilliant.
He definitely learned. He knew how to have fun.
Yeah. Right. So who's one artist that you would always like to collab with or create a craft with? Who would it be? Transcended or alive?
Oh, wow. Well,
I had to hit you with a big one.
Recently, the last $2 Invitational where we all get together, different street artists and graffiti artists paint different walls that are selected throughout Louisville. I got to meet this woman named Megan who writes Artistic Kind. That is her signature. She's from Chicago, and I love the way she painted. So just being able to watch her paint and hang out with her afterwards and talk like that was really exciting. I've had similar meetups in St. Louis where I got to meet this guy that writes freight trains. He writes the word Ichabod on them. And he's just like legendary. So I was able to buy a painting from him and but actual collabs, I'm in the middle of my biggest collab ever right now.
Wow, this is good timing then.
We won a contest for the biggest wall in Louisville. It's under 65 on Main Street. It's 270 feet long. It's 20 feet tall. It's 270 feet is long. Like if you don't know how long it's
20 feet tall.
20 feet tall.
Wow, that's 2 long basketball goals, people. Yeah, to cut a clear visual.
Yeah. Long, like that's more than a football field.
That's wild.
It's and so we had multiple meetings. Me, my friend Will Sig III, he signs his work, Art Cartel, and then another guy who's been a friend of mine since high school, Chris Chappell. He also does spray paint murals, and we got to go in deep with how they start their approach, and unfortunately, we were good enough friends that we were a little too honest with each other about. There were some shouting matches, but in the end, we worked out a design. We sent it in. We got it approved.
What that is, that's 2 giants colliding for the greater cause.
Yeah. No, I mean, I'm super stoked with the end result. We can't make it public yet because we have a few more revisions, but there will be announcements about it that will be made very public very soon.
Oh, man, that's nice. That's brilliant, man. Amazing. Another display of raw talent, man. So I got to get petty before I get you out of here.
Oh, I love it.
Couple quick ones.
You're going to find me where I do best.
Word. Here we go. Simple. iPhone or Android? Are you still rocking with us?
I think I may have switched to iPhone.
Oh, okay. Word.
Well, last time we talked, I just got my first iPhone. And now I'm, of course, like
he's joined the team.
Yeah,
people, officially.
Yeah. I actually need a new phone.
We love them for a reason. Yeah. Me too. I'm almost there.
Yeah.
I'm set up for an upgrade.
I don't understand why. Like for 2 years, it's been telling me I'm 91% storage full.
I go crazy with the storage.
Yeah.
Man.
I'm like,
my
I've
battery.
Got like 5,000 photos and videos. I'm trying to delete them, but I don't want to because of my kids and other things I like.
Oh, it's hard to delete kids.
No, you can't delete.
God, that's so difficult. No. I feel terrible if I ever done it.
No.
And then
hell, I can't even get them to. let me take their photo now that they're
Facts.
teenagers. They're like, I
And
want
then-
to take my photo. I'm like,
And then you're an artist. I mean, come on now. Your phone's going to be wild. So, coffee or cat?
what is the question?
Coffee or cappuccino?
Oh, I'm
neither.
not supposed to have either for my blood pressure, but I've recently
Ooh, there you
started
go.
drinking coffee again because I just can't get through life without caffeine.
Man, it's so difficult. I try to put it
I
down.
went 6 months and then I was like, this isn't working.
At least it's not energy drinks and all that stuff.
Oh,
I had to
yeah.
give those up.
Yeah.
So chicken wings, drums or flats?
This is going to sound insane. I'm not a big fan of chicken wings.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That you're the first, but I've also heard boneless, stuff like that.
I'm not going to.
So if you had a substitute,
I'm a real man. Even if I did like bonus, I'm going to say it out loud. Come on.
I like that moment of clarity and honesty. But so if you had to replace chicken wings, say you went to a setting or something and they had chicken wings to offer, and you said no, instead of chicken wings, I would prefer.
Ooh, and this is
It could be
grosses
anything.
some people
Celery
out.
sticks, anything.
Chicken livers.
Oh, the livers.
Yeah.
Went old school with it.
Yeah, with some gravy.
Word.
Yeah. Either kind of gravy, brown gravy or
We
white
went
gravy.
to the livers. Word. That's southern
Yeah.
too. Hey, so one's got to go. Tacos or online shopping?
Shit, I need tacos. I mean, I guess it would be tacos because there's some things I gotta have online, but that's a hard one.
Is it petty enough?
Yeah.
That is a petty one. Kind of a new one that I created. You know,
That's what really makes you think too.
yeah. Like which one do I mean? Both of them are very convenient. And what's your ideal climate to work outside in?
It's funny you say this because almost every type of weather is the worst kind of weather. Like,
too hot, too bright,
all right.
too rainy.
If you're walking, you're like, oh, it's a pleasant breeze. If you're trying to work and you're on a lift that's 50 feet in the air, that pleasant breeze is making you bounce 2 or 3 feet.
That's a good point.
And it's not fun. It's like if I was on the ground, this would be the best day ever. But
Yeah.
I'm up here and I'm trying to make a line on the wall, and I'm going.
So no beach breezes right now, please.
And then if there's no breeze, then you're just pouring sweat.
And it's this humidity.
And what I run into a lot of times is I run into wasp because I'm up high.
Oh, good God Almighty!
And so that happens a lot. That's not weather, but it's situation related.
Right. Wasp in the corners of the buildings.
So I'll always be. I had this one
spiderweb.
When I did that Clarksville mural, there was one little sweatbee that hung out with me every day for 2 weeks.
Right here.
I was like, "Would you go away?" I was like,
I guarantee that's frustrating.
"Yeah."
And then you don't want to make any sudden movement.
I gave him. I was like about to name him as a pet. I was like, "This is just my friend now." Like, you know.
Spiderwebs.
Yeah,
you told me about the poison ivy on our first episode.
Yeah, I still
that's
get
wild.
poison ivy a lot, but
the things that people don't realize that you have to go through.
Well, what's funny is
the elements.
I love watching these YouTube videos like SB Mowing, where the guy's out there mowing the lawn and stuff.
Right.
And like everything I'm going through, he's going through 10 times worse because he's actually doing hard work.
You know? Yes, he can relate to me, man. Somebody is living this with me.
Yeah. And I just think about everybody else that has jobs where there's no convenient bathrooms. They're always in the sun. You know,
Factual.
like it can be rough being outside all the time.
Battling those elements, man. So do you have any upcoming events?
Well, hopefully we'll get this mural going in June.
Yes,
we're waiting for
the big project,
Kentucky
right?
Transportation Cabinet. Please bless us and approve our permit. We need that. We need to close the sidewalk so we can get scissor lifts in there and get this done. That's going to happen.
Hopefully they'll see this and just go ahead and open the avenue.
There's always the first. We mentioned it before, but the Unfair is the most interesting renegade art fair that happens in the backyard of the Mag Bar the first weekend of October. So always look for me there.
Come out and support.
Yeah, but a lot of what I'm doing these days is just my kids are getting older.
Mm-hmm.
Before they can have the choice to drive away and not be around, I'm making them do things with me as much as possible.
Right, putting that work in and then spending some time, some lively time. Right.
Yeah,
that's what it's about, man. Do you have any messages before we get out of here for upcoming artists?
upcoming artist.
Because coming from you, you know, I look at you as you're a legendary artist up to this point. You are on the next level to where people are looking up to you. They're just admiring your work. They're supporting you. You're fully embraced by the community. And I feel like other artists would like to know something that you could touch base on, a gem or...
Well, here's a bit of wisdom. We talked about earlier, but you can make a living as an artist and not be able to draw or paint nowadays. AI exists. You can do it that way. What I would suggest is take drawing classes, take a painting class, learn the fundamentals, just so you don't get caught flat-footed. Mm-hmm. You know, if you get put on the spot and somebody says, draw me a picture, and you can't even draw a stick figure. Like you want to have some level of aptitude, right, just for your own peace of mind, just so you're not looking in the mirror and going, am I fake? You know,
right. So build somewhat of a foundation.
Yeah.
And build off that.
But it's more true now than ever, because you really can just give prompts and then post what that AI generates to Instagram, mm-hmm, and get 30,000 followers if you're good at writing a sentence, mm-hmm, that gets you a result that is unlike everybody else's result. You know,
so just pursue it, activate, and execute. Right? Don't stop hesitating. Stop second guessing it.
Never stop building your skills. Never stop. Like every morning I'll watch a video by Greg Crayola Simpkins, or we're watching this guy Alan Kett with a Museum of Graffiti. I watch his, mm-hmm, interviews and his podcast.
Right.
All these things lead to me knowing more about how I do my own process.
Right.
And how I can understand how other people do theirs.
Yes,
we're all a community, and so don't think you're in this world alone and that you're a sheltered genius and no one will get you.
Absolutely.
You're not that unique, but you can do amazing stuff in your own way.
That's very well said. And that's a good reminder, man. The information is out there. The inspirations are out there. And that's a very good reminder coming from a great like this. Go out there and seek this, man. Go ahead and look out for the resources and look for references and people that you could pull inspiration from. There's nothing wrong with it. Right now is the time. So I agree with Damon. And man, I appreciate you coming back up here, man. Thank you for your really gracious time. Here. I know you got a lot of work to do, tons and tons of work. And man, it's showing, and your Instagram is just looking like, good God, it's lit up, it's colorful, it's professional. Your work all around the areas and the communities, it's just, man, you're lighting the buildings up, man. I want to see Damon on every building. That's what I want to see. A piece of Damon.
I don't have a problem with that.
Put it up everywhere. You know what I mean? And thank you for the stickers, man. These are one of a kind. Go ahead and get your products. Damon Paints.
Yeah.
The website's up.
The website is damonpaints.com.
Damonpaints.com.
Instagram, Damon Paints.
Easy, accessible. So I appreciate you all, man. Thank you, Damon.
Yo, let's get the business.